Welcome to Supers Live. This is the Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series. We are live from Star Speedway in Epping, New Hampshire for the 9th annual Supers All-Star Classic 200. 200 laps of Supermodified sim racing coming at you here on the Supers Broadcasting Network. So glad to have you all in with us here on Twitch as well as supers.net. If you are on Twitch, let us know where you're listening from. Hit that follow button while you're enjoying the show. We've got a special one here tonight. Special guest, as a matter of fact, ready to join us in the pre-race. And you know, New England and the Northeast has a large, strong history of super-modified racing. And one of the organizations that's helping to preserve that history is the North East Motorsports Museum. And we've got the executive director of the North East Motorsports Museum, Tom Netishen, with us here tonight. In fact, Tom's still hanging out at the museum. I think if I had a job like yours, Tom, I don't know that I would ever want to leave there either. But welcome into the broadcast. It's super modified sim racing action. It's not the real deal, but we're doing our best to emulate it, and you guys are doing your best to preserve New England motorsports history, all different forms. Give us a little background on the museum and how it got its start and where exactly you're located.
Well, thanks for having me, Bob. Good to be here. Yeah, a great view from the office. Not a bad day when I'm looking at a 1940s big car and silver trophies from Redville Speedway in Boston from 1906 and 1907. I guess it's a long day, but a rewarding day. Well, the Northeast Motorsports Museum was started by Dick Berggren, Vic Urardi, who put on a lot of vintage races here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway and throughout New England Vintage Gathering. Said, we're losing our racing history and we need someone to save it, and you're the guy, Dick Berggren. And he was the guy who started raising the funds, and from 2011 until we broke ground in 2016, we raised about $900,000, just shy of $1 million of private funding. That's no government funding. The museum is a 501c3 educational nonprofit here in New Hampshire, and the museum is 10,000 square feet of auto racing history. Everything in the museum has a New England connection. The driver raced here, the car was built here, or New England racing tracks, or the car raced won here. Well, so yeah, it's all about Northeast Motorsports.
So even snowmobiles or boats or motorcycles?
Yeah, we've actually had snowmobiles in here. Yeah, we have a board member who handles all the motorcycles. We got 5 or 6 motorcycles in here. We've had snowmobiles. Yeah, the whole 9 yards. It has a motor and an engine. It's motorsport, so it's under our wheelhouse for sure.
And it's not just cars, right? It's memorabilia, helmets, programs, photos.
Yeah. I'm looking here in my office, and we have the Santos Racing family. They have their own display here with trophies. We have a John Buffum display, who was a very successful rally racer throughout, who was from New England. As I said, the trophies from Redville Speedway, and we have lots of programs. We have our own library here. Research, those books actually go beyond New England. We have many photo books as well, and it's quite the place. Also an iRacing simulator, a slot car track, so we have some interactive exhibits. A little bit for everyone here at the Northeast Motorsports.
Now you said iRacing, and that's something that really piques our interest. No super modifieds on that though, right? You don't have any
not yet. So, but
I think we better get our tech guy Rob Warren on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the thing that I think is one of the most interesting things that I've seen on the website at the museum is the volunteers that are there. That there's so many people that just come out. And it appears to me that just do it out of the love of the museum and the cars and the Northeast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can anybody be a volunteer at the museum?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone's welcome to be a volunteer. Our volunteers are heart and soul of this place. I mean, they come in. We have a great list of volunteers that do everything from help clean up, hang photos on the wall, move cars on the floor, help promote. They do a variety of things, and anyone's welcome to be a volunteer here at the North East Motorsports. They're kind of the lifeblood of what happens here.
Tom, you've been working hard. You said that you don't get any government funding. How are you able to raise funds to keep the lights on at the museum?
Well, we do a lot. We're starting to do events here at the Northeast Motorsports Museum. We had a great Daytona party at the kickoff of the NASCAR season. We had a great turnout for that, and we're actually building our next event, and it's coming along really well. It's called the Historic Motorsports Exposition, and what it is, we're trying to build the single biggest day gathering of historical race cars, personalities, artifacts anywhere in the Northeast. And I think we're going to achieve that now. We have 5 museums that don't have physical locations but have trailers. Ron Bouchard Museum has a 60-foot trailer. New England Antique Racers has a trailer. Maine Vintage Racing Association. Ollie Silva has their own trailer from Rick Eastman. Lloyd Hutchins, which is History of Vermont Racing. Owl's Head Museum will be here, as well as the Pro 9 Museum, Southern New England Auto Racing History Museum. So a wide variety is going to be here. It's going to be all sorts of road racing, oval racing, drag racing, motorcycle racing. It fits into our mission, what we do here, preserving history. I had someone call me today who's bringing their 1928 big car, and he's so fired up about this event. It's kind of a unifier throughout New England, and we have some people coming from even New York. So it's going to be a great day.
Do you see the museum being the Northeast Motorsports Museum? Do you see that being the museum now that these other traveling museums or smaller museums that are just about a particular driver, do they now kind of look up to you at the Northeast Motorsports Museum to guide the way for New England and racing museums?
Well, we're the most diverse, definitely. The other ones are kind of regional museums, so to speak, from each state of New England. So we're kind of the social gathering center, the hub, so to speak. We want to make it into. But these museums all have memberships as well. They can sell merchandise at our May 4th event, the Historic Racing Exposition. We want it to be lucrative for them too. We want everyone to be successful. All our missions are really aligned. The preservation of history in the Northeast. So I think it's going to be a great day. Looking for a carnival-like atmosphere, and we're going to bring the show.
Okay. So these are like mobile museums. What about the food trucks, man? You got any like hot rod food trucks going to show up or anything?
Well, we're doing a barbecue that day. We're doing a barbecue that day at noon. We'll fire up the engines at noontime. We'll have a gentleman start your engines from an honoree. And we'll start all the running cars here. We'll welcome to fire up and run for 4 or 5 minutes, and we'll rev them up. And that includes a 1,400 horsepower funny car, so a vintage funny car. So that might overpower a few of the older big cars, but it'll rumble and rock and roll. And then we'll do a barbecue lunch after that. We'll light the grill.
Wait a minute, barbecue? You're in New England. I thought it was like a lobster boil or something like that.
Well, maybe next year. But hot dogs and hamburgers,
You couldn't get Bentley Warren to bring down any lobsters from Kennebunkport.
Well, I wouldn't doubt Bentley's showing up. He knows about this event. He's traveling back east from California, so high probability the Kingland Supermodifieds will be here that day. High probability. So it's going to be a great day.
Well, I think that sounds like a great event, but the thing that I think that we're probably most interested in here at the Supermodified Old Pavement Racing Series, the original Supermodified Sim Racing Sanction, the oldest Supermodified Sim Racing Sanction, get it start in 2004. We're interested in a little thing you got coming up this summer that's going to be all about Supermodifieds. You've got a very specific exhibit that you're putting together for this summer, all about Supermodifieds. How many cars do you expect to be in that?
Yeah, well, right now we have 8 on the floor. There might be maybe one more coming. It's going to be each year we've decided to do a feature exhibit for a type of race car. And before I even was brought on here, it was already decided the Supermodifieds were going to be the featured exhibits. It's going to feature Supermodifieds from the cut-down era all the way to the mid-90s. And some of these cars included are Eddie West's 1966 Classic winner, and Ollie Silva 112 win race car, and Dave Thomas Sr. 1978 Star Classic winner. Russ Woods, Eddie Shea owned Graves car. So quite the variety. We actually have a Bentley Warren Roadster here that raced. That's a late 60s car, and that raced at Oswego Speedway and throughout New England. So it's quite the variety, and we'll wrap it up at the end of the year with Legends Day celebration, which we every year we honor. We have a banner raising ceremony at the museum. We honor 3 legends of a certain discipline of racing, and this year it's going to be in association with the display, Supermodifieds. Bentley Warren, Ollie Silva, Eddie West will be honored here later this year.
Fantastic event. We're very interested in that because there's such a great tie-in to the track that we're racing tonight at Star Speedway. And for us, it's the All-Star Classic 200 because only the top 12 drivers, we've got half of them tonight. 6 guys is all we've got in, but it's a limited, almost an invitation-type show. The Star Classic is an iconic New England North East Motorsports event, and you've got a lot of that history that's going to be detailed in this exhibit, but also in the museum itself, some programs, some flyers, you can tell that story very well. Tell us a little bit about the history of that particular race.
Well, it actually started at Lee Raceway in 1966. That was the first Can-Am International Classic they had there, and it was a late one, and eventually they had a bit of a falling out there, and so they actually built Star Speedway, and the first classic was 1967 at Star Speedway, and it's been going on since then. It was originally a 200 lap event. There was if you spun out, you went a lap down. There was a 200 lap strategic race, and over the years, the evolution has changed and twisted and turned. They actually even went to 100 laps at one point, and went to 150, and now it's at 125. So the times have changed along the way, but it's still the most prestigious super modified race here in New England. The cream usually rises to the top in that race. You got to be one of the best to be on the podium in that event still today. The best still rise to the top, rise to the occasion, and you're our Star Classic champion. But the race was originally started by Ken Smith, Russ Conway, and Charlie Elliott was the owner, and that was a heavy hitter promotional team, and they ran NEMSM and ran races all the way up the East Coast for many, many years, and were very successful at promoting super modified racing.
Tom, that's a great history, and we do our best to emulate that history of super modified racing, educate sim racers across the world really about what super modified racing is, and a very unique form of American motorsports. And you're telling the story at the North East Motorsports Museum this summer with a specific exhibit about super modifieds, but you're telling the story year round. When can people come in and look at the artifacts in the museum?
Well, we actually go to every Saturday. We're open year round. We have limited hours in the winter, but actually this Saturday we're open April 20th. Saturday, April 20th, we're open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and going forward throughout the summer, we're open every Saturday until we get to Memorial Day weekend. Then we open Saturday and Sunday, and later on in the summer we actually go Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So pretty expanded hours in the summer. We're always open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can go check out more information at NEMSmuseum.com. That's NEMSmuseum.com, or just type in North East Motorsports Museum in Google, and you'll find us pretty easily that way. And you can become a member on right through the website. Though it's only $35 to become a member. You get our newsletter, and it's a great part of our fundraising and a big part of what we do here to stay financially solvent.
Tom, what if there's somebody out there that wants to make a larger donation or contribute in other ways? How can they do that?
Well, you can donate to the website, but you can also reach out to us. Give us a call. Our phone numbers are on the website, and if you want to talk to us or you're interested in learning more, give us a call at 603-783-0183. So you can reach us. That's right on the website as well. So we're easy. Plenty of ways to reach us. You don't have to hunt around our website to get a hold of us, that's for sure.
That's always nice to hear. We try to keep our website the same way. Tom, we want to thank you so much. We'll tell everybody that the information's up on the stream. We'll have it up in our post race as well as our YouTube videos uploaded within 72 hours of tonight's event, the All-Star Classic 200 coming at you. Super modified sim racing at its finest here on the Supers Broadcasting Network. Thank you, Tom, and best of luck to you this summer, and hopefully we'll get to see you around and enjoy some of that great New England hospitality, and maybe we can talk Bentley into bringing some lobsters down for a lobster boil. It just seems odd to hear barbecue in New England.
Yeah, I'll work on the lobster. I will work on the lobster for sure. Well, thanks for having me, and have a great race. Have fun, everyone.
All right. Tom Netishen, Executive Director of the North East Motorsports Museum. And you can find the link on our website as well as in the video here, post-race, Northeast Motorsports Museum. And I think we've got a decal that we're going to give away to the winner here tonight from the Northeast Motorsports Museum. And that'll look good on their race cooler. So, you know what, folks? We have got a big show ready to go for you. You got some of the history of the real Star Classic. Well, this is our 9th annual All-Star Classic 200, and time trials were completed before we went live on the air. And your fast qualifier was Rocket Rob Warren, a former winner of this race. As a matter of fact, we have 3 former winners in the race tonight. Warren fastest with an 11.097. Second quick, Brad Keyser, who was fast in pre-race practice, he turned in an 11.303. And your third quick qualifier, Keith put one on your pal out of Carrollton, Ohio, an 11.207. Now, what does that mean? Not a whole lot, because it's a completely blind redraw for all the qualifiers here tonight. And we will give you the starting lineup here just shortly. But before we do that, knowing that a rookie and the 2 drivers that are battling for the 15th anniversary Wing Supermodified Championship are your top 3 qualifiers should make you know and let you know that it is a very competitive field here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this points championship was spread out as much as 50 points just 5 races ago. It is down to 6 points now. Rocket Rob Warren is within 6 points of winning his 3rd Wing Championship. Keith Powell is trying to hold him off to win his very first Wing Supermodified Championship. Now, Powell has been a non-wing champion in Supers. It has been one of the most fantastic seasons of sim racing that we have ever put on in our 15-year existence, and we'd love to have you be a part of our 16th year coming up in, next October or during our summer season. All you got to do is go to supers.net, click the About tab. We want you to learn a little bit about us before you go racing with us, and then click the Join Us tab, and you could be racing your own Supermodified online with the original Supermodified sim racing sanction. One other thing we want to let you know before we go racing, that we do things a little bit differently. We also do not get any money from the government. We are a nonprofit organization, sim racing sanction, and all of your donations to the Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, or Supers, go to help injured drivers through the Dion Parrish Memorial Benevolent Fund for Supermodifieds. We don't ever want to have to hand that money out, but we always feel comforted when we're able to make a donation to an injured driver and or his family when they are hurt at a Supermodified event. So your donation to race with us at the Gold Crest and Go for the Gold goes towards that, as does any other donation that you make, including through our merchandise store on Twitch. We've got some great stuff coming up that we're going to be adding to the merch store soon. And folks, you're going to enjoy it.